All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. This is going to be WWF Summerslam 2000. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. We're back in the WWF pay-per-views, biggest party of the summer, but unfortunately, that's not
Oh,
saying too much for this one.
not really.
Well, when your competition by this point in WCW is pretty much flat, and we're doing Judy Bagwell on a pole matches, you could pretty much put Scotty 2 Hotty in the main event, and people will watch it. So it's at this point they pretty much can throw shit against the wall. It's going to stick regardless because their competitor is just has shit the
Yeah.
bed with their product. I'm not saying WWF was bad in 2000. It was decent. I thought the Rock Triple H feud went on a
Some
little
of
too
the
long, but
it's like some of the pay-per-views in between were better than the actual big events like WrestleMania and
right, yeah,
SummerSlam. Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Like they
weird,
had the
right?
Iron Man match on
Yeah.
one of the smaller pay-per-views, and then now granted, Austin was gone at this point. Undertaker had just returned, so they got him
Yeah.
back. But I mean, they just focused on Rock and Triple H, and
Which is not bad, but
no,
I
it's
don't know. It's
not.
just
But when it becomes monthly, like every month, and
yeah.
you got guys like Jericho
And
that's
Foley
feuding
had
with Triple
retired.
H.
Foley had retired too. So
Foley's
yeah.
retired. Big Show, I don't know
Oh
where
no, they sent him to
his
the Fat Farm. They sent him because he was out of no, I'm not even joking. Like he was really
no, I
really out of
know.
shape, so they shit canned him and they sent him down to OVW to get himself back in order because he was supposed to fight Undertaker on this pay-per-view. I don't know if you remember that. He was going into a feud with the
Yes,
Undertaker,
now I do remember that.
and then
Yeah.
they pivoted to Kane right
Why?
before this, maybe like
Oh,
2 or 3 weeks before this. And then
yeah,
remember they punished Big Show and they kicked him out of No Mercy. He's not in that N64 game. He's supposed to be and they
that's
tossed his
right.
ass out. He's in WrestleMania 2000. Kicked him out of No Mercy. That's why when you play through the story mode, it's supposed to be him. It's not supposed to be Stevie Richards. Like Stevie Richards is like you have to fight Stevie Richards to get to the title. And I'm like, Stevie Richards, why would you have to go through Stevie Richards? It was the Big Show.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
and they
o- the
punished
o-
him.
the only story mode I remember on that is you had to win a Mega Royal Rumble to unlock. I think it was Andre, and you had to go through like 90 wrestlers and
Oh
whatnot
Jesus.
because they used to come out like three times. And I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
I did it as The Rock, and I won, and I unlocked them. When I looked at them in there, I'm like, I spent 2 hours for this. I think
Yeah.
there was one of the games. I don't want to get sidetracked. There was one of the games where Shawn Michaels had to be unlocked. I think it was it WrestleMania 2000
It was one of them. I
that
think it might have been WrestleMania 2000.
The WrestleMania
Yeah,
14
yeah,
attire, but I could never unlock him.
yeah.
So I
It was
just
on.
used somebody and created him on an alternate.
Yeah, yeah.
But those games were awesome back
Mhm.
then, man. But anyway, let's get to SummerSlam 2000. Jim Ross, Jerry the King Lawler doing the commentary. Raleigh, North Carolina, August 27, 2000. Buy rate on this was pretty impressive considering the card. It was 570,000 watching this, myself included. So here we go. The opening match of the night was Too Cool and Rikishi versus Right to Censor, Buchanan, Goodfather, and Steven Richards. Val Venus hadn't yet made his way in here yet, but he will. This match was a little stagnant to me. I thought they could have done something better with Rikishi, especially with his popularity by this point. I thought maybe he would be in a title match or whatever the case is, but putting him in this match, making it short, and having them lose, just I didn't think helped him. And I mean, they didn't help anymore, going further in 2000 either by
That's
making him
before
the
he did it.
driver.
He did it for The
He
Rock.
did it for The Rock.
Oh Jesus.
But I mean, and then of course, the one move you want to see Too Cool do is Scotty 2 Hotty doing the worm.
He
Old
got
White Sox over there super kicks him. Not
he gets
even that
blasted. Yeah,
good.
he got blasted.
Yeah, he almost missed him completely. And then they get the pin on Scotty, and Right to Censor wins.
See,
And
yeah,
Jim Ross is commenting how Stevie Richards didn't wear White Sox this time, so he was impressed.
Stevie kick.
I did not like Right to Censor. I thought it was trash. I thought they killed two careers doing this
Hmm.
in Venus and Goodfather. It was garbage. And you got the momentum of Too Cool and Rikishi, and you just shot it to hell in under 5 minutes. So following that, they showed on earlier on Heat Jonathan Coachman interviewing Kurt Angle. And then of course they showed Coach interviewing Stephanie
Hmm.
McMahon. They got this whole thing going the whole night of Kurt kissing
Definitely,
Stephanie
yeah.
3 days prior on
On the
SmackDown.
couch. Yeah, it's just
Oh
I'm
my
your
God. He
best.
goes,
I'll be here for you as a friend and all. It's just weird, man. Just
I
weird.
love later on. I don't want to get too far ahead yet. I love later on when she's asking Kurt, "Yeah, how's Shane? Oh, yeah, he's fine. He's had the wind knocked out of him. He's good. Yeah, yeah. By the way, I'm here to make out with you. This whole storyline, it was funny at the time, but because it was still two heels, it didn't make any sense. And then you got The Rock involved in this whole soap opera. It's like he almost didn't. It's like they included him in something that it didn't pertain to him.
Right, right,
It
right.
just it was chaotic. That's why like you said, the smaller pay per views were better than the
Hmm.
bigger ones.
Hmm.
So in any event, uh, they also had Michael Cole was trying to interview Shane McMahon. Of course, when he saw Steve Blackman, he shit his britches and ran off because he's got a date with him
Yeah.
later on in the evening. Our next match on the card is pretty much DX imploded. It's the Road Dogg versus X Pac. These guys weren't getting along during their handicap match with the Undertaker, so now they figure they'll get it out in the ring. They showed the previously on Monday Night Raw, Road Dogg
Yeah.
accidentally going through the table that Xbox sent them through, and of course SmackDown when they fought the Undertaker. So this is once Billy Gunn got hurt, DX was pretty much
This
over.
is this is this. I think this is the end of the X here. Like the
It
official.
is.
Like this is the end of
It's
the
like
X.
Triple H is not even part of it
Yeah, he's
anymore.
not even. He's not even there.
And Billy Gunn's gone. And
Yeah.
it's back down to these two guys. So DX 2000 would shit the bed anyway.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
officially over and done with.
Until see, there won't. There will be no DX. I think until Sean and
Sean and Hunter in
Honor. Yeah.
'06.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
That was even better than the 2000 version. I gotta say.
well,
That's
it's
not
not
saying
not
much.
saying much, but no, it
No, it's
was.
not.
It was. Yeah.
But I mean, this match wasn't bad. We've seen this before. If you go back into the Coliseum video, you've seen the 1-2-3 kid versus the roadie. So we know what these guys are going to bring to the table. It was a decent match. X Pac unfortunately, hits him with a low blow and then gets the X Factor for the win. After the match, X Pac gets the microphone, thinks everything is copacetic. I'm the better man. Let's put it all behind us. Road Dogg puts the pump handle slam on him and like, screw you. I'm done with you. Little did Road Dogg know that this would also be the end of his career in WWE because once the tag team of him and K Quick didn't work out, he got his walking papers.
See ya.
Because I always remember the story of him saying that he went to WCW looking for a job in 2001 and sees Shane McMahon is there.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh shit, the guy that fired me is
Right.
here.
Yeah.
I'm over here looking for a job."
Jesus. Little did he know that the building they were out of business too.
If
Yeah.
man, the luck that he had. So in any event, our next match on the card was kind of a first in WWF at the time for the Intercontinental Championship. Val Venus defending his title, teaming with Trish Stratus,
Yeah.
who won him the title to begin with.
I completely forgot about this IC run for Val Venus, and he looked completely different with the short hair and everything.
Yeah, he looked more bulked
Yeah.
up. I didn't like his techno music, but he was out of the whole pornographic thing.
Right, no, but it just didn't work.
No, but it could have. I mean,
Maybe.
it could have worked for a push if you didn't give him the techno theme.
Yeah, I don't know. He was just set up.
But
I guess.
I mean, he cut his hair. He was looking good. So what are we going to do with him? We're going to put a suit and tie on him.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was weird. Oh.
Yeah, but it wasn't weird on the other side with Mamacita as Eddie Guerrero and China are challenging for the titles, and he specified to her, "I don't care if you win the title tonight, mommy. You get it. We good." And she said, "One of us is getting lucky tonight." Oh, to be Eddie Guerrero next to China. In any event, though, leave me alone. I liked her back then. You did too. Don't even.
Not really.
Oh, whatever.
That didn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, wait. We're not doing
No,
SmackDown Raw. So I can't do my LA night. Okay. The match itself was pretty good. Eddie Guerrero and Val Venus feud, well documented in 2000. They had a good run. Val Venus was pretty much fighting a handicap match here, which I thought he needed to do because he told Trish before the match, "You better do your part." And she's like, "How do you think you won the title?" "Yeah, well, how do you think you lost the title, Val?" Once he tagged her in, it was over. And
over.
China pinning her. Now China's the two-time Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid.
Was this around the time that Eddie went to hug her and then he accidentally pinned her and then he won the title? Was that right after this?
I don't remember.
I
Probably
know he
probably
did
was. I
that
don't
to
remember.
her and won the
Yeah.
IC title. I think this was right after this.
Stupid. I don't like the women getting like involved in like the IC title stuff. They should have just had a straight up match.
Well, once they put her in the women's division the next year, it was pretty much
Yeah.
pointless. And then she gets fired and then leaves the company.
I don't know.
But I mean, she handled herself good, especially when it came to Chris Jericho. I love you. Got to admit, you loved when she beat up the last outlaw, old
Yeah,
Jeff
but
Jarrett, there at the
yeah,
housekeeping match.
I was just glad to see him go.
Yeah, seriously. But I mean, I thought China handled herself good,
No, I don't have a
in
problem
the
with
ring
China.
for
I don't have no problem with her and her character. I'm saying the booking, I didn't like it. That's
fighting
all.
in the for
Yeah,
the
just
IC
in the
title.
match. Didn't care for that. Doesn't work for
I
me.
thought it was funny when WCW tried to come up with their version of Asia, and I'm like, that's not going to work. No, that's really gonna no. You guys are just like throwing shit against the wall, hoping it sticks, and nothing is. So in any event, China's the two-time Intercontinental Champion. After that, they showed the night before WWF New York. They had Radio WWF there with Michael Cole and Mick Foley, a bunch of call-ins. They had to sing along with The Rock, which I thought was funny. WWF New York, we talked about this. I loved going there, but it was way too pricey. I
Well, that's
mean,
why they
just
went. That's why they ran out of business.
yeah, seriously, of all the places to pick to put
Just too. The
your
rent
business,
was the rent was too expensive.
Times Square.
Yeah, the rent. So then they had to pass it to the customer with the food, and the food was good actually, but
Yeah, it was.
it was just it was cool that they tried it though.
I went in there a few times. I love the fact that they would play the entrance themes when you were in there. They sold the merch there.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I remember seeing a Raven shirt was
Yeah,
like $45,
yeah,
and
they mark it up. Yeah,
I'll give you $10 for this. Like, $45 for Raven's shirt. Good Lord,
was it? Did he actually wear it for
no,
$45?
no,
Jesus, yeah.
no.
Anyway,
Everything was too pricey there. But again, it was
yeah.
Manhattan. So um, after that, they had the video package of what led up to our next match, which was Jerry the King Lawler versus Taz. I thought at this point and I'm using this term a lot in this for this review, they shit the bed with Taz.
Taz was already done at this point. He
Unfortunately,
was already
and
buried, and
I
just
loved it when he got there. When at the Rumble, I lost my voice when I was there. When he came out to face Angle, but once they put him in a program on SmackDown with Triple H, and he lost, I knew then and there.
knows that it was over. I mean,
It's
I wasn't a Taz fan, so I can't say that I
ECW
was.
was what he was better off
Yeah,
in
but he was
ECW.
a bit, big fish in a small pond in ECW. He
Yeah,
comes over here. It's just it kind of is what it is. I just thought they didn't do him any favors putting him in this feud because they made him like a heel, but then like I think he was kind of like a cowardly heel, and
a
then
thug from Red Hook. Yeah,
yeah, and then the thing with JR, everybody loved JR, so I was rooting for Jerry to kick his ass, and I
oh
didn't like
yeah.
Jerry Lawler either as a wrestler. I'm not talking
No.
about as a commentator. I was actually rooting for Jerry Lawler to kick his ass because I felt bad for JR.
And thanks to JR, he did
Yeah,
when he
he
broke the
smashed him.
jar across Taz's
Yeah,
head because
hmm
Taz had smashed Jerry's rental car with JR in it, and he
yeah,
messed up his eye. So Jerry Lawler beat Taz. I didn't even like the fact that Taz came out pretending to be blind. JR, where are
yeah, yeah.
you?
It just didn't. It didn't. Yeah, it was.
He was so much better. And this is also around the time, and I mentioned this in a couple of videos. This is around the time that Taz went back to ECW because Mike Awesome had gone to WCW and he was the ECW champion. So you had a WCW guy fighting an ECW guy, a WWF guy, excuse me, for
Right.
an ECW
CW.
title.
Yeah,
They had to get the title back from Mike Awesome. And when Taz won it back, I think he lost it to Tommy Dreamer right then and to pass it to him because Taz was a WWF. So that's about the highlight of the summer for him because, doing this, he might as well have just gone back. But gone back to
no, that was
what?
a
Because
going
by
back
this
to
point,
what? Yeah,
ECW
yeah,
was
yeah.
just about done.
Titanic was
And putting
iceberg.
him in the hardcore division, I mean, I thought that was going to work,
Oh God.
but then it didn't. So unfortunately, and then again, Taz losing this, he needed to. Jerry Lawler needed to get the upper hand, but the fact that Taz lost this, I think, hurt him.
It did.
So, but
So yeah.
congratulations to Jerry Lawler avenging JR. Then they go back to hating each other on the commentary
hmm
later on. So after that, Lillian Garcia tried to interview Shane McMahon, but once again he saw Steve Blackman and ran for the hills. Our upcoming match for the hardcore title: Shane McMahon defending against Steve Blackman. Shane, a couple of weeks prior, beating Blackman for it with a couple of his thugs. And a couple of thugs coming down to help him here again. Test and Albert came down, helping Shane during this match. This was a short match with a very impressive ending, I got to say. That 50-foot drop or more that he took off of the scaffolding
That's crazy.
Was insane, because JR had referred to the Hell of the Cell, how that fall for Mick Foley was less than this. And then, of course, Steve Blackman just goes, "Ah, the hell with it. Let me jump off and give him an elbow drop."
That was wild.
It was insane. The match itself sucked until this part.
Yeah, it's just that spot. That's what people remember is the spot.
This one spot is all everybody will remember.
You see it in the highlights and stuff,
He hits him with the kendo stick and just falls stiff straight back. Yeah. And then Blackman, hell with it, let's go. But congratulations, Blackman wins the hardcore title. Up until this match, I forgot he was still there at this point, because I didn't even know he was still, relevant in WWE. Apparently, he's not if you're the hardcore champion. So, unfortunately, because he was talented. But, Shane McMahon, thank God, loses. Our next match, now this is where Stephanie was worried about Shane, and Kurt Angle's like, "Oh yeah, he got the wind knocked out of him. He's fine." Yeah. By the way, come here, I want to hug you and stuff. Whatever. Of course, then Foley came in. He goes, "Am I interrupting anything?" Fucking Foley. And then, of course, they show a video package to our next match, which was pretty good. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match between Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. This feud's been stemming back from WrestleMania when they fought Kurt Angle. I thought this was one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah.
Even though there was no title on the line here, these two let it all out there. Fall number 1, submission. And I really thought this should, between the two of them, if they didn't do a 2 out of 3 falls, at least do a submission match, because that's these two guys' finishes. Right. And most of this match, the falls ended in submission. Mm-hmm. Benoit got the first fall with the crippler crossface on Jericho. Fall 2, Jericho got the walls. Jericho on Benoit and applied it and got the submission. Unfortunately, with fall 3, it ended distastefully when Benoit rolled up Jericho and held the rope and gets the 1, 2, 3. So a great match did not end cleanly. I really wish it would have, even though Benoit is the heel. The type of match and the stipulation they had here, I really thought it should have been that way, but that's not what we got. But Chris Benoit does come away victorious against Y2J in this match. So, following this, now they show Triple H has finally graced us with his presence, arriving to the arena, not knowing anything that's gone on. Right. Apparently, he didn't even know about SmackDown until this night, which is hard to believe. And then, of course, they show the video package for the next match that stole the show, TLC 1. Obviously, I can say that. I say that now because we know there's a second one at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. For the WWF Tag Team titles, Edge and Christian defending them against the Dudleys and the Hardys. This, like the second one, did not disappoint.
Crazy.
And it's funny, Edge and Christian always come out victorious.
They always come out victorious, man. The Hardys can't catch a break, man.
Or the Dudleys. It's just like it's not happening for them. Edge and Christian always find a way. Now, this time when Jeff was dangling, Edge did what he did with the,
that looked like a dangerous spot, man.
It did.
When he fell?
Oh, yeah. Not as dangerous as when he goes to Swanton off the top of the ladder on the ringside through the table. I think it was better the second time they did it. Of course, the second time when Jeff's dangling from the thing at WrestleMania, Edge was like, "Oh, I got something better for you. I'm just going to spear you and break you in half."
Crazy stuff.
But this time, I mean, Jeff fell awkwardly, and you thought, you'd think he was hurt. This match left it all out there. To me, it was the best match of the night.
Yeah.
And like I said, Edge and Christian coming away. Edge spearing Lita. I thought they knocked Lita out completely.
Yeah, because Lita got involved. That's right. Yeah.
And
you thought she was going to save the day.
Yeah. No. No. Instead, she got speared by her future boyfriend, and it looked like she took a nasty bump on the floor because the way Edge did it, it looked like he slipped before he went for the spear. But everybody came out of this fine. Edge and Christian retained the tag team titles. So for it's just like I said, it's just amazing. Every time you put these teams together, they're the ones that are coming out victorious. So following this, Triple H and Stephanie are now in the back talking about, the kiss from SmackDown. Oh my God, this was funny. I really think going into 2001, I think there was going to be the start of the storyline of the McMahon Helmsley regime exploding. So I really think that when he came back and she wasn't with him, I really think that's what they were going for in 2001, starting from here, because they had they were at each other's throat. He didn't want her at ringside. This was the first time for that because he always had her out there. So I think that they were going towards a long storyline to where it would explode eventually between the two. Unfortunately, Triple H getting hurt in 2001, they had to wait until '02 to do it. So our next match, God, this should have been on Sunday Night Heat, the Stink Face match between the Cat and Terry Runnels. Al Snow at ringside and Cat's.
I mean, Cat looked pretty good though.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking. I'm not Terry too.
No, Terry too, but I like the Cat though.
Oh yeah,
I can see why. I can see why the King lost his mind after she got shit canned, and he's like, "I'm out of here too."
Yeah, he quit his job for her, man. Wow.
Yeah. She ended up leaving.
Yeah, after he broke up with her, he's like, "I'm a job back."
Back, yeah.
And yeah, Perry Saturn in Terry's corner, and she's over there being the little exhibitionist, and he's wrapping her up, and I'm like, dude, you're spoiling it for the rest of us.
This had no business being on this pay-per-view, I don't think.
Stink Face was actually pretty much the match. It was a stink fest. I mean, the object is you stick your ass in the other one's face. And Rikishi's not even part of this.
What the hell is going on? And Russo's gone. Russo's not even here.
This is not even a Russo product.
Right.
Who wrote this shit?
Can't blame him. I don't know.
Was this Vince just getting his jollies off?
That's possible.
Oh, my God. Because they showed 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, Cat told Rikishi the Stink Face story, which is where this all started. And then the last Monday on WWE New York tour, Terry Runnels attacked her when she was on stage. So, I mean, we could have did this on Monday Night Raw for ratings against Nitro. But in any event, Cat hits Terry Runnels with head, Stink Face her, and it's over. Thank God, 3 minutes. We're done with this. I'm glad they were out there, but the match itself was shit. So after this, they went back to WWE New York, and they showed the wrong guys were behind the bar at this point, APA, and they're thanking Vince McMahon for the bar and the alcohol and everything. I thought that was hysterical. I think personally they should have been on the card, but I wasn't the booker back in 2000. Hell, I wasn't even close to the business in 2000. So, and then after that, they had the video package of what led to the Undertaker versus Kane. Like you said, Big Show was supposed to have the match against him. Instead, we get brother against brother again.
Here we go again. This time, Biker Undertaker or American Badass.
Yeah, but if you watch it on Peacock now, you get his 2003 entrance theme, not the American Badass. Yeah,
copyright. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I really liked his American Badass.
No, so did I.
But I think my favorite was Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, that was
when
good.
He came out to that.
Yeah, it's a toss up for me. I don't know. I can't choose.
Either one is fine.
Either one, yeah.
But this match was probably the worst Undertaker Kane match ever.
It was like 6 minutes too, like 5-6 minutes, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, about 7.5. I mean, but it doesn't matter because he spent the entire time trying to take Kane's mask off.
Yeah, I don't know. And you know what I don't understand? They never built up to that. Like that wasn't like an ongoing thing where Undertaker was trying to get his mask off and it was like a big deal and
not even a stipulation for the match.
Right. So then we just go to Undertaker's trying to get his mask off and I'm like, why is he trying to get his mask off? Like why?
And then he does it. And the match ends. And JR's like, did we even hear a bell?
Well, why didn't if Kane ran away, right? Because he took the mask off. Shouldn't Undertaker win
by count?
Undertaker should win, right?
Yeah, they just played his music and it was a no contest. Now, if you look right, once he takes it off, you can see Kane's face.
Yeah, you see his face. Yeah,
you see Glenn Jacobs there.
Yeah, you know what's fun?
Even when he's down the aisle,
right.
Can't hide
he had the hair.
Can't
hide it completely, and they didn't even try to blur it or anything. I'm surprised. No. And you know what's funny? I don't even remember this. I didn't remember this. I remember in 2003 when he finally unmasked. I remember that was a huge deal.
RVD,
that was a huge deal. But I didn't even remember this.
Well, that was even back when he cut his hair. Because remember, this is his real hair now.
Yeah.
Then the mask was with the wig itself.
This was just garbage, and it's a shame because you got two legends, two Hall of Famers, and they stunk up the building. It's not their fault. It's whoever booked this.
No, it's not.
So
whoever said this is how the ending is going to be, and it didn't pursue it going forward.
No, no.
Because then the Undertaker focused on when Angle won the title. Undertaker was focusing on him.
Right.
So this was
a throwaway, like last minute pivot.
Yeah, because Big Show wasn't there, they threw him in there and they stunk up the joint.
Wow.
When you put him in there and you look at it on paper and it's actually better.
And this is like the forgotten match. Like nobody remembers this.
The forgotten Kane Taker saga match. Yes, it is. Because when I'm looking up the card and I got everything down, I'm like, ends in a no contest. Why don't I remember that?
No, I didn't remember it either.
If they're not teaming together, they're fighting each other. My God. Because and then 2001 they're going to be teaming together. I think this is the first time he came out with the tank top. He didn't have the one sleeve anymore. This is I think the first time he came out with that. So they're slowly, making Kane kind of naked, showing that he's an actual human, that he's not deformed.
He's not completely burned, yeah. And they said then they end up saying that the scars were psychological.
Yeah.
Remember how they said his body was burned?
Was that when RVD was pushing for the
maybe
dude, you got to take your mask off, man. Everybody's going to love you, dude.
And then that was Katie Vick. But anyway, moving on.
Oh, my God. You had to bring that up. Anyway, please, moving on. They in the back now, they show Kurt Angle. This is hysterical. Kurt Angle's on the phone calling Stephanie. She's pretending it's her mom. And Triple H says, "Oh, it's your mom. Let me talk to her. Hello? Oh, your mom hung up on me."
That was funny. That was funny.
So here we go. The video package for the main event. Angle and Triple H. We're in a triple threat #1 contenders match against Chris Jericho. The winner goes to face The Rock. They both pin Jericho. Poor Jericho. Here we go with the triple threat match. Now, what made this match real interesting and unfortunate for Kurt is he suffered a bad concussion in this match.
Yeah, when the table broke early. Yeah. Because they slid through. Triple H had him started. Triple H had him in the pedigree, and it just breaks through.
As soon as he went to jump,
the
table gave out. Angle hit his head.
He hit his head bad. Yeah, it was legitimately hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, and Triple H was looking at him. Now this is before The Rock even showed up. They fighting before the bell.
What about the pop The Rock got? Because 2000 to me is the best. It's The Rock's best year. It's The Rock's best year. It's 2000.
You got no Austin. He's running solo as the top guy.
Right. He was on fire.
He got a huge
fire. Yeah. And The Rock came out looking. It's funny because The Rock came out there kind of looking confused. Like these two are already going at it before I even
is the match over? Am I done?
Right. Yeah.
Because even my son's watching this with me, going, "When's he going to show up? Is he even going to bother showing up?"
I would have just waited in the back until they destroyed each other and then came out there
and come out and rock bottom somebody.
Yeah.
But in any event, Kurt Angle's on the stretcher.
Right. Yeah. He's on the stretcher anyway. That's true.
They cart him off. Triple H was trying to bring him back. That's not going to work. So now we pretty much have a Rock, Triple H, no disqualification, no count-out match until Stephanie tells him, "You got to help Kurt. You got to help Hunter." Okay. Doesn't even know who he's talking to, probably. I think he finally got his bearings when he got back to the ring. I think he was able to do some of his moves.
I think from the way the story goes, he was in bad shape, and Kurt asked Stephanie, like, "What the hell do I do?" And she told him, "Just break up the pinfall. Just grab the Rock's Rock's leg."
And you notice Triple H, when he went to pin the Rock, he looks back to make sure that Angle is going to grab his foot and pull him. So they were making sure that Kurt was on cue, despite how he was.
Wow, I guess they really cared about Kurt Angle's health, sending him back out there.
Yeah, right. Lord knows he could have had a second concussion.
Seriously,
going into this match, and I mean, this match ended great. The Rock hits the people's elbow on Triple H. After Angle hits Triple H with the sledgehammer, he gets the pin. Rock is still the WWF champion. And I was really, I was glad I remember when I watched this live, because I know that they kept Triple H had the belt, then The Rock had the belt, and Triple H gets the belt. I was like, are we going to keep doing this?
Yeah.
And when Rock successfully defended it at Fully Loaded against Benoit, then he went to SummerSlam. Now he's facing Triple H again. First thing I thought is Triple H is going to win the title back. But The Rock kept the title in this match, which was good. And of course, Stephanie is hurt, so Angle drags Stephanie out of the ring and, takes her like he's her knight in shining armor. This kind of reminded me of the Shawn Michaels, Rick Martel thing with Sherry back in '92, only this went a little bit further.
Yeah, because, I don't know.
Angle's messing with a married man's wife, which is something you don't do.
They shifted, the comedy to Kurt Angle. I mean, Kurt can do anything. But it was
Yes,
like
you can.
they kind of shifted him. Like Jericho got like more serious, right? Jericho gets more serious, and
Hmm.
then Kurt Angle kind of goes into. I think. I mean, I haven't seen this in 20 something years. But that's how I look at it now. Like watching it, like you kind of Jericho got a little more serious at this
Yeah.
time.
Whereas with the whole Angle
Kurt,
thing, it was comic
yeah, because
comic
like
relief,
comic, but Angle could do anything. He's spectacular.
and the storyline was good between the two, especially with her. You remember when they were showing the vignettes? You know, Trisha's asking Helmsley to help her with some wrestling moves,
Oh
and
yeah,
she
yeah,
comes
yeah,
in,
yeah.
and the
No.
way she's bent down, and
WWE
Triple
was
H is like,
crazy back
"Whoa,
then, man. WWE was doing some
I
wild
loved it."
stuff.
You
When
can't,
when
unfortunately, you can't do it
Trish was
now.
barking like a dog, remember that with Vince? That was wild, man. That was
The fact
wild.
that she agreed to do all of that
Yeah, seriously.
is.
No,
But again, the
no.
people that are willing to do anything, knowing that it might pay off in the end, and it did for Trish. I mean,
Yeah.
Big Show did literally every stupid thing under the planet, but he goes down as WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion, a Hall of Famer, despite all the
Yeah. He
Shokishi,
didn't do
the
himself any favors
showster.
though. He didn't do
No,
himself
he
any because
didn't.
he wasn't in shape and
In
apparently he had
2000, he
a
really was crap.
yeah, he gets into shape later on, then he has like a nice second run, but
He was
I
a
don't know.
real badass in '02 when
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, where he showed where Brock looked like the underdog with him.
Yeah. 2000's kind of weird. It's just like kind of like a weird year. Like they had really good stuff and then they had kind of shitty stuff in it. And this is kind of like this pay-per-view was like
And they couldn't have
mm,
thrown anything out there because regardless, it would have
yeah.
dominated and
Yeah.
destroyed
That
Nitro.
probably hurt. That's probably what hurt them is the fact that they had no competition. But still, it was still good. It was still entertaining. Pay
Yeah,
per view was all right. It was okay. It was all right. It was.
like I said, the tag team match, 2 out of 3
Yeah,
falls were definitely two of the greatest.
Jericho and Benoit. Yeah, like you said.
Yes,
Yeah, you just said
and
that.
the main event wasn't bad. I mean,
No, it
Angle
wasn't. It
was able to
wasn't.
come out
Yeah, it was
there
still good.
and still put on a
Hmm.
good match.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.